Welcome back, folks. Now we're talking about GoStudent here. So a little recap. Last episode we were talking about Optima Academy, which was like the early innovator in the virtual reality space with a bunch of very silly silly interpretations of school. Definitely watch the last episode first in order to understand what we're talking about here if you haven't already, because this might be a little confusing, but we're going to talk about school going into hive mind mode, where we are going to DNA test kids to figure out what they're good at. According to GoStudent, which is a German online tutoring company, which is actually pretty big company. Like they're not just like some fringe thing, right? GoStudent has 23,000 plus tutors. It's just very odd that, this is a major tutoring company that's in 15 countries. But then we pull open this report, and the space that they're moving into is AI, VR, and hive mind knowledge. Recapping here, Felix, who's the co-founder and CEO, basically is partnering with a futurist, Tracy Follows. We're going to start off in the 2020s with AI, moving quickly into AI autonomy, then have immersive VR, which is odd because those are separate things. VR and AI are not the same technological innovation. And then finally in the 2050s, so in roughly 30 years, we're going to have, I can't stop saying it because it's so funny, hive mind mode, where knowledge no longer resides with an individual, but across a group, delivering greater knowledge more immediately. This is the company that early on said AI is going to help teachers guide student choice and learning, that genetics will be integrated to help inform learning strategies and aptitude for certain skills, trades, or competencies. It may become mandatory for learners to take at least one subject that their DNA testing says that they'll excel in. Again, a German company saying that we should do DNA tests to determine what people could be good at.
What DNA markers can you look at to figure out what someone is going to be genetically predisposed to be good at? Akin to phrenology, right? Measuring your head lumps to kind of say what kind of person and personality characteristics.
We could monitor them though, because like as we see in this image here, this like mock-up, this girl on the right has a 70% capacity to learn.
What does that
What could go wrong?
What does it mean?
This person has 33% mental capacity. Like what are we doing? Like I could maybe, and this is like a hard maybe, see 12% fatigue. Like if you were tracking if someone was tired. I understand that. This is an episode of Black Mirror.
What is the intervention that follows from that?
Shit,
if
man.
You're
so
having this level,
sorry, I have to. So this is the description of.
This is impossible.
This is the description of the previous thing. And it says the school calendar is going to change because AI is going to be employed to constantly monitor and guide learning, testing, and assessment. It'll be continuous. Then it says, learn to earn Web3 solutions that are emerging today will have long since replaced the CV. It will be a digital wallet and credentials that is used as proof of qualifications. Do we need to talk about learn to earn Web3 now?
That's what this video just became, Chris. Yeah, what is learn to earn Web3?
I'll summarize this in like 3 sentences. We'll have to do a different video just on learn to earn Web3 because that's like a whole separate thing that's going on. Like we're blending together every educational buzzword, or just like not even like crypto buzzword or futurist buzzword in the same video. So we kind of all know, if you've been following technology at all, you know that there was the NFT craze a few years ago. You had your Bored Apes and all that crap, and they all collapsed because the idea of crypto-based assets that are one of a kind don't make any sense because it's artificial scarcity. Those folks that invented NFTs, blockchain companies, digital asset currencies, all that kind of stuff, are now shifting into education and what they call learn to earn, which is ostensibly kids would complete tasks. So you'd work through like a playlist or some kind of thing similar to alt school, actually. As you complete those tasks, you would earn some form of virtual currency, like your own proprietary coin. It's like learning coins or whatever. those learning coins, because they would have artificial scarcity, would then have some form of real world money connection. So I would trade my learning tokens for like Ethereum, and then I could use my Ethereum to buy products.
But it turns education into a grind for in-game currency, which we all know is the best part of any video game.
Yeah. Historically, everyone loves how mobile games work, and there's not been any pushback to this or regulation or anything like that.
Let's look at this image. So, like, again, we looked at the fish image, and we looked at the one where they're monitoring all the kids' health. This one doesn't seem that egregious.
This reminds me of the
yeah, I kind of like that.
The Microsoft table. It's this thing. Surface. Sorry, the Microsoft Surface. Like when they duel in Yu-Gi-Oh and they put like their things on the table and they like come to life. Like this could be really neat. You know, I was recently in Japan and they have those arcade games there where you play with trading cards. This guy's playing, like putting his cards on the table and like they're popping up on the screen. What's ironic about this, I guess, is that this is the opposite of VR. This is encouraging people to manipulate things with their hands and going more analog and interacting in a virtual environment. They aren't actually getting more virtual. I think they're actually getting more analog in this case.
Yes. Yeah. It's turning files that could exist in digital space into concrete objects that you can manipulate.
This is not going to solve the pedagogical problems of the classroom. These are just cool things that could exist in a classroom. And I think ed tech companies see that the other way around. They're like, if I introduce this cool multi-screen table into school, it's going to revolutionize how it works. And that's not the case, because if the kid is just working through quizzes on their tablet computer thing here, then we still haven't changed anything about school in the exact same way that Google Chromebooks now are just really electronic worksheets. Hey everyone, Puppet Chris here. Just wanted to give you all a reminder to please like and subscribe. Each like makes a huge difference for us as we start off on YouTube. Plus, check out our ongoing funding drive. Beyond YouTube, we're a nonprofit organization producing a ton of resources, podcasts, and professional development for teachers. Check out our impact and donor gifts at humanrestorationproject.org/support. Introducing learning by lifestyle. One of the ways to understand the school of the future is to think about school becoming a verb rather than a noun. The educational term school comes from school, I don't know, which means leisure. Okay.
Learning nailed it. I'm positive that you nailed that pronunciation. Positive.
Okay, good. By 2050, education will return to its roots. The educational ecosystem will exist beyond the school gates and operate as a lifestyle-led service to which one can subscribe throughout one's life. We might call this learning by lifestyle. For example, if one needs to speak Japanese on a travel excursion, real-time AI translations will be available so no one speaks the language he or she has not yet learned. Is that education? So
yeah,
I that to me just sounds like we're going to have tools that make it so you don't need to learn things. You're not really learning by lifestyle, right? Because the tool is doing it for you, which is cool. Like I'm totally down for real-time translation. That would make traveling a lot easier. But that's not learning by lifestyle. Also, people already like subscribe to services to learn things. Like there's a ton of services to learn other languages that a lot of people subscribe to. Okay. All right.
So I think
terrifying.
I think the images are particularly like indicative of what they imagine this to look like. And I think they include this image. I think they include this image to be a benign one. Like, hey, they're all smiling. They're all looking in 4 different directions. They're clearly doing something technological, but it's really not super clear. And then there's like this robot overseer in the background. So all I can think, this to me looks like a malevolent image, doesn't it? Like this does not look like
learn or die.
Yeah.
Why is there like a curio cabinet in the background?
Those
were the relics of the humans at their museum before the AI took over.
Given what all they write about then, I think it makes a lot of sense just to say like, well, how do they actually envision what this world looks like? And this to me looks dystopian. The images that we've looked at so far all kind of look vaguely dystopian.
The description of it is, technically speaking, a world of new skills and specialisms. Basically, the information age. Right now, there's skills related to computer science, coding, data analytics, etc. In 2050, there's going to be brand new technologies, advanced robotics, genetic engineering, In the meantime, clean tech, deep tech, sports tech, space tech, and neurotech will become mainstream subject areas. Most learners will have a basic, this is 2050, by the way, this is in 30 years, less than 30 years. As time moves on, more and more of the knowledge needed will be accessed via AI rather than retained and learned. Consequently, other skills will come to the fore, such as collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Collaboration could possibly be the greatest skill requirement in the future that includes co-piloting, communicating, interacting with, and working alongside machines and AI. Working with AI will require different traits and a whole new skill set to that required when working alongside other humans. I think that people already, even 30, 40 years ago, businesses, colleges were talking about how communication, collaboration, this is portrait of a graduate stuff. Like these are important skills that people need to have in the future because it's relatively easy to find information online, and your ability to dissect that information and put it into practice is more important than necessarily memorizing it.
And it says that a whole new skill set will be required. But I wonder if that's even the case because, like, if we think about large language models and things really taking, you don't have to be a coder or familiar with a programming language to generate AI art or to generate AI feedback through this. And I would expect that those user end technologies become even more colloquial in a language sense, right? So it'd be easier to interact with.
Right. I mean, you have to have critical digital literacy. There's a difference between having kids take, like having every single kid take robotic engineering versus having kids be familiar with how robotics and AI work to the point where they understand where it's coming from and how to use it. Like we already know that teaching every kid how to code was a waste of time and resources because technology advances faster than our ability to just train every single kid on how to use it. Also, like we don't need everyone to be a coder. You should have every kid understand how to use AI in the exact same way that every kid understands, hopefully, how to use Wikipedia or how understands how to use the internet or any other tool. But it doesn't mean that you're going to replace all subjects with clean tech, deep tech, and space tech. Okay, conclusion. We're at the end. So in 2050, the old industrial model of large classrooms and learning by memory will be a thing of the past. Term-driven timetables and chronologically scheduled classes will be redundant. This will be replaced by a fully personalized timetable for students with DNA testing even playing a role in determining what learning should be consumed. Meanwhile, brain-computer interface companies will be making technology that helps both the student and the teacher learn from the pupil's own brain. I just can't believe this is being presented as a positive. This sounds terrifying. So now we're getting back to GoStudent. In addition to facilitating access to quality tutoring, GoStudent will continue to create adaptive learning methods so that education can fulfill a role for everyone. So
weird, man.
It's like really all over the place. I don't understand how DNA testing, brain computer interfaces, learning by lifestyle, AI, and virtual reality all hand in together. Because if we can just download our hive mind, like why would I need virtual reality, AI, or learning by lifestyle? I would just know it because I know kung fu, right? Like I would just know how to do it. Why would I need a tutoring company?
Right.
Can we really quick look at Tracy Follows? GoStudent has this report, and it's prepared by Tracy Follows. She's the glimpse into the future of the student. Okay, so this is where this is from. Yeah, so this is written by Tracy Follows, one of the top 50 female futurists according to Forbes magazine. She's a visiting professor of digital futures and identity. Tracy Follows, who has the consultancy firm Any Day Now. What language translate? Prayer for protection from the unbelief, poverty, the punishment of the grave? Where are we?
What have you done? Don't say the words out loud. It'll cast a spell.
I'm assuming that's not actually her website. That's like all the information that exists on her. So what we just analyzed was a report from so let's just put this back in the we went to a German tutoring company that has a lot of people that are involved with it, right? They released a white paper report on the future of education from a futurist whose website no longer exists and is now a Malaysian weird website about like praying away poverty or something. And she's saying that we're going to be genetically tested to figure out what things we're going to learn, but we're also going to be in VR and AI. And the tutoring company is going to help in some way with that.
Company is like, hell yeah.
Yeah, they're
We're going to
somehow
do
going
all of those things.
to do that. But they don't have anything else on their website that has anything to do with this at all. Like there's nothing about this concept. It's just like, it's a tutoring company.
My brain is as seeped out of my ears. I don't even know what planet we're on right now.
I mean, ultimately, this is just using a bunch of buzzwords to sell more products, right? Like this doesn't actually happen. I mean, the end result of this is the future is now. Collaborate, everybody. Collaborate. We're walking around school. We're researching. The frame rate's holding up. Looks really good. We're holding out our hands. We're learning in VR, the future.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We've got a funding drive going on. If you visit humanrestorationproject.org and drop in the comments what web version you think we should go to next. 27.0 and beyond.